Hey everybody, ChristopherOdd here, and this is the second video in a series that I'm releasing about my time with XCOM 2. 2K was kind enough to invite me down to try out the game, and obviously I'm incredibly grateful that I'm able to do that. I'm even more excited that I can share it with you guys. I know that a lot of you guys are really passionate XCOM fans, as am I, and so that brings me a lot of joy, really, just to be able to share it. So today's video is going to show you all of the soldier customization options that are currently in the game. They actually just announced a deluxe edition of the game that's going to include, and I quote, a rebellion themed content pack with more dramatic soldier customizations. So what I'm going to show you today is really just the beginning. I've also got some pieces of an interview that I had with Jake Solomon where he tells me about a certain aspect of the soldier creation process that has me really excited about its implications, specifically on this channel. But before I get to that though, I just want to share like a fun little story that happened to me when I was getting this specific set of footage. So just to kind of set the scene a little bit, we're sitting in a small auditorium. Maybe auditorium's not the right word, it's more like a theater, but like a regular theater, but a smaller theater. It's like way smaller. And it's me, there's some other YouTube personalities, Jake Solomon, the creative director of XCOM, is there, and some super helpful, very friendly PR people from 2K. So we sit down and we run through the tutorial missions. It takes everybody roughly the same amount of time to complete the tutorial. It's very hands-on and holds your hand to walk through it. Move here, shoot this, whatever. So once that's done, everybody dives into one of the two missions that we had access to. And me, however, I spent a really long time just customizing soldiers, and this is where this footage came from. I wanted to go through every option just to see what was all out there. So after about, I think it was probably 25, maybe 30 minutes, one of the 2K PR people approaches me and she taps me on the shoulder and she's super polite, right? But she's like, Chris, I don't want to rush you at all, but if this is the footage you want to capture, by all means go ahead. I just want to let you know that the second mission today might take a little bit longer than you would think. So it's up to you, but do whatever you want. I just wanted to let you know. So I was like, okay, I get it. Yeah, I should probably move on. We were only at the event for a couple of hours, so 15 minutes is actually quite a big chunk. I did, of course, finish both of the missions, but like the next video that you're gonna see is that second mission, and because I was a little bit behind, I had to rush, and it's like, it gets really intense. I'll tell you the whole story in the next video, but all this to say, I spent a lot of time in the character customization options, and yeah, I don't regret a second of it. I kind of just get lost in this soldier customization, like in the best possible way. As you can see anyways, so in the video you can see going through gear, accessories, tattoos, scars, you name it. And yeah, you can even customize every gun that you have, you can name it, you can color it, you can apply patterns. It's awesome. It's just like, for me, creating soldiers and getting attached to soldiers in XCOM is like, that's my jam. That's what I really love about this game. And when somebody goes down that I've invested not only just time in creating, but also time in developing them and seeing them get promotions and ups and downs, and then you lose one, that's like the worst feeling. But now, because you're gonna spend, at least I am, we're gonna spend so much time customizing these soldiers to create like really unique personalities. It's, yeah, I'm worried that my time investment, I'll take them into a mission and meat shield, they're gone. It could happen. It could happen. In addition to the other things that I just mentioned that you can customize things obviously like their name, their nationality, as you saw previously. A lot of nationalities that you can choose now, and I love that you can choose nationalities because just anything that you can personalize for these soldiers I think is great. And you can even write biographies for them. So a lot of really cool implications. Now, earlier on I did say that Jake told me something in an interview that, to me anyways, had like some really, really amazing possibilities. And I'm gonna play that for you now, but as you listen, just notice how he mentions like it's not such a big deal at the beginning, and you'll notice he gradually gets more and more excited about it. And just so you guys know, the question that I asked him, which prompted him to reply this way, was, what are you most proud of in XCOM 2?
I would say the thing that I'm probably most happy that I think the team, the thing that I'm probably most excited for, and it's not like the biggest thing, because I think overall, I think the team did a really good job on all fronts. Like, I think the game looks so much better than I had ever hoped it would look, and I think the art team deserves all the credit for that. And the modding stuff, I don't know yet, but I'm super excited for what that's going to be, and that's obviously all due to the engineers. And I think one of the things that's sort of everybody together is the character pool, and it's a smaller part of the game, but the ability to customize characters and then save them and then have them show up in future games, or have your family and friends appear in your games, and you be able to, they'll appear as like mission rewards, or they'll appear as recruits in your games, and it happens over and over. And that to me has created, even for myself, that's created a lot of really fun moments when I play. And that was the sort of thing where when we first talked about it, you're like, I don't know if that's going to be good or not. It sounds neat, but a lot of times those ideas, they don't pan out. But the character pool is one that actually has panned out really well. And so I'm excited to see what character pools people share with each other. And I don't know, it's worked out really well. It's really, and part of that is the character customization too, which I think it has really worked out well. And it's another thing that when we talked about it, I was like, I don't know that this level of customization is good for the game, because you have so many soldiers. Do you really want to customize this much? But I think that's worked out really well too. So I mean, there are a couple of things that I think have, at the end of the day, those are things I can look at and unequivocally say, like, I'm really, really happy with what we've done there. It's
interesting to hear you talk about the character pool, because I haven't personally heard a lot about it in the past. And when we played the demo yesterday, I noticed that there was like a save to character pool option, and I just kind of thought that was more of like a template scenario. But what you're saying is you can create these very detailed characters, name them, make them look however you want, and then they will actually just come up randomly throughout the campaign?
Yes, yeah. And
that's awesome.
And yeah, and they can even be characters. So I've done it for, so characters I just want to show up in my game. So you obviously you make your family, your friends, and then you'll make some funny ones like 80s action heroes or whatever it is. Yeah. And then so those characters will now show up as recruits, or they'll show up as somebody you can grab from a mission. And then you can also specify when you're making them, you can say, well, this person is only ever a scientist or an engineer. And so my parents, my mom's a doctor, and so I'm like, okay, my mom only shows up as a scientist. Okay. And what that means is that sometimes then you'll get a mission, and it will be like, all right, here's this mission to go rescue Dr. Nancy Solomon from an Advent jail. And it's impossible to take any other mission than the one to rescue your mother.
That's right? so cool.
Yeah, and you can also make them, and this is a very small thing, but you can actually say, hey, this person's actually a bad guy, and so they'll show up as like a neutralized target, where you'll get a mission to like, all right, you've got to go take this person out, and so yeah, you have these options to sort of, and you can even do it. So while and that's why the save to character pool button was there, is that you'll end up getting attached to some characters in your playthroughs, and you'll get to the end of the playthrough, and you kind of want those characters to come back again sometime. And so you just hit save to character pool, and then the game will make sure that in future games they're just going to show up with all of their nicknames and customize the way you customize them exactly. And you can even write the biographies of your soldiers, and so they'll show up with their little biographies. And so yeah, I mean it's in some way, I mean it's a lot of work, but it's a small part of the game. But to me, it's been really, really rewarding to play with it as a player.
Like, I didn't think I could be more excited, but that's actually really awesome to hear. And like, just from my specific channel's perspective that does a lot of the role play stuff, Like, I can see huge implications for this.
Oh yeah,
it's
I mean,
amazing.
People, people will be able to make them. So we do this as the developers. We have a developer character pool, and so we all share it. And so everybody, every developer on the team, they make themselves in the character pool.
Right.
And then you get a little insight into people's personality when you see how they've decided to view themselves as an XCOM soldier. And you give yourself a nickname, and you color yourself up appropriately, and then you write your biography. And then the developers, then every time you play now, then other developers will just show up in your game. And so that's the thing, is you can share yourself. So your audience could make themselves in the character pool, and then they can export their character pools, and you can import their character pools, and so they can make themselves and just put themselves up there, and then you can can just import all of your audience or certain members of your audience, and your audience can share among each other, or you could take, people are watching, all your subscribers are watching these events, and then you could say, after every event, after every show, you could say, here's the character pool for the latest one, if people want to have these characters in their own games. And so, there's a lot of potential there for that stuff.
That's such a cool idea. I'm glad that you guys implemented that. I think that's just going to be huge for replayability and just getting like a community involved, like really genius. And I can't wait to check it out.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Thanks for all the great ideas, Jake, I gotta say. But yeah, this is something that I have had a hard time like keeping under wraps since the event. I've just wanted to tell people, like, this is such a cool addition to the world of XCOM. The ability to not only say, okay, I'd like to be part of your squad, and here's a name, here's a nickname, here's a cool background, but to like create the character, to customize it to whatever you want, like have it reflect your personality. One of the cool things that you may have noticed earlier in the video is that you can assign like personality traits, and it affects the way that they move and things like that. It's subtle, but those small tiny additions add up to make a really big impact. And for the ability to have people sending me soldiers for my soldier pool is just like, that blows my mind, and I think that this is just going to be such a cool experience. And then what I'll also do is be able to share that character pool with you guys, because why not? Maybe some of you guys will want to see these people show up in your playthroughs. And I love the fact that it's not just for created soldiers. You can, as he said, you can create people as scientists or engineers, or you can even assign people to be like bad. And I'm probably gonna assign like other YouTube personalities that also do XCOM stuff to be like enemies, and then when we encounter them, I'll be able to like smack talk them on Twitter, and it'll be a ton of fun. But yeah, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. The last little section here is a bit of a repeat from the previous video where we're attaching some weapon upgrades, but take note of this section in the bottom right where you can see what each of these upgrades do. There's going to be tons of them, and their benefits are small, but when they trigger, could be game changing. There's instant kills, there's additional aim, there's a whole bunch of things that could range from having a small impact to having a huge impact, but nothing that's happening on such a regular basis where it'll make a weapon kind of broken. So pretty excited about this. Anyways guys, we'll see you in the next video, and that'll be coming up very soon. The next video is going to focus on another mission that we have available, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. Bye.
The world you once knew is no more. Earth is now ruled by the Advent Coalition and their alien masters. For decades, we have operated in the shadows. Now that we have recovered our greatest weapon, the time has come to reclaim our world. You must wage war on the enemy from your new mobile command center. This commandeered alien vessel will serve as your new base of operations. Though we have acquired new weaponry and operatives, the battlefield is more dangerous. The enemy has grown far more deadly. You must rebuild the XCOM project, expose the aliens' true agenda, and renew humanity's will to fight.